If it seems like your dollars aren't stretching as far as they used to, we're having the exact same issue. But here are some frugal, easy swaps we've been trying, and they're working really well to help us save money.
Hi, this is Larry.
And I'm Hope.
And we're from Under the Median, where every week we talk about practical frugality.
And this week we're talking about frugal swaps. They're easy, they're simple, they don't take much time, but they do save money. Let's dive right in. The weather has warmed up, so we're replacing our flannel sheets with our cotton sheets. Couple of tips as far as sheets are concerned. Don't buy your flannel sheets in the middle of winter. Wait until they go on clearance right when that spring merchandise comes in. The price will drop on flannel sheets about 75% off of retail value. In January, you want to look for what's called a white sale. Why a white sale means like all things linen on sale, I don't know. Does anybody know why a white sale is called a white sale? If you do, tell me in the comments. But look, I got this in January. This was at JCPenney. It was buy one set of sheets and get two for free. That was a super great deal. Here's something else to do in the spring. In the spring, swap turning on the AC for opening the windows. If it's nice, open it. Bring the fresh spring air in. Feels good. It is said that all good things come to an end, and that includes your sheet sets. This is one of the sets of sheets that I took off the bed a while back. It had holes in it. So now I'm cutting it up so it's becoming rags. Just take, whatever. You can even do this with clothing. Things like old t-shirts and stuff like that. You ready? This is so fun. That is so satisfying. So you're swapping buying paper towels for cutting up these things. Let's talk paper napkins. This is just a part of our napkin stash. Now, one of our sons works for a fast food establishment, and every time he gets paid with a meal, they stick a napkin in there, which he never uses. So these were all in his room. He came bringing them out to me like last week. He was like, Mom, you need napkins? I'm like, oh my word. How long have you been saving these in your room? But let's just say you don't have a son or a daughter or a significant other or a friend or a family member who works at a fast food restaurant and can get napkins for you. What do? You get cloth ones. These are incredibly cheap at secondhand stores. You can get them at like church rummage sales, or you can get them at estate sales. We have these, and we have these, and we have these. They help you feel fancy, and they help you save money. Swap replacing this hand soap when it runs out. This is foaming hand soap. All you're gonna do is take your empty bottle, get one of these industrial sized bottles of soft soap, but you're not gonna use it straight. You're gonna fill this bottle up about a fourth of the way. The ratio is about 1 part of the soap to 3 parts water. Just pour your water in, leave a little bit of room at the top. And this isn't scented, this is plain. So if you want to, you can put some essential oils. I have peppermint or tea tree, both of which I like. I think I'm going with peppermint this time. Put just a few drops. 1, 2, 3. All right. Replace this, put the lid on, and it kind of mixes itself a little bit, but do this gently. So you're mixing that hand soap, that straight hand soap that is at the bottom with the water. And that's it for pennies. You just got yourself a brand new foaming hand soap.
I do a lot of biking, and when I bike, I get thirsty. But one of the things that I don't use are these one-use water bottles because they're more expensive. What I do is I put chilled water in this water bottle. This is a thermos. It keeps it nice and cold. And I take this on the bike ride, and that saves me a lot of money. See ya, honey.
No, Larry, wait. Larry, we got to finish the video. Larry?
Another swap that we like to do is swapping out purchasing coffee from a regular coffee shop and then making it at home instead. This is a lot cheaper to make it at home. And we find that when we brew our own coffee, we can kind of fancy it up a little bit and put some very special flavorings in here to make it taste as good as the coffee that you get out. You can add cinnamon, you can add vanilla, you can add almond milk or regular milk depending on what you drink. And there's different flavorings here that give it a little nice edge. This is a cappuccino, amaretto, and vanilla once again. So it is much cheaper to make your own coffee at home and enjoy it instead of buying out. Speaking of coffee, we found another little addition that helps you save even more money. If you're used to using coffee filters, the paper kind, buy a permanent filter. I think this one's about 8 years old, and we've used and reused it. All you have to do is just rinse it out and wash it up, and it's ready for the next time.
Swap going to a restaurant for restaurant-themed meals at home. Listen, any of the entrees at your favorite restaurant, generally there's a knockoff version available online. You can make it at home, add candles or something. It makes it feel like you're at a fancy restaurant. Let's just stay on restaurants for a second. If you are going to go out to restaurants, think about joining friends instead of joining them for a whole meal. Join them for coffee or dessert or tea or even appetizers out at the restaurant. You'll still be able to enjoy that restaurant feel without the giant bill. And speaking of giant bills, how about zero? Zero, nice round number for a specific bill. We're talking about services provided by TextNow, who is our sponsor for this video. When our boys were much younger, let's say junior high, early high school years, they were out, they were about with friends, they were doing things. We wanted a way to be able to keep in touch with them. And it was our kids that found out about TextNow. TextNow is easy to use. It's a downloadable app. You download the app and answer some simple questions. TextNow assigns you a phone number. As long as you use that phone number, it is yours to keep. You can do all the texting you want. You can make phone calls, and it's absolutely free. TextNow uses available Wi-Fi connections. But if you'd like, you can always purchase their low-cost SIM card. That allows you to make phone calls and text using the nation's largest 5G network. TextNow, as I mentioned, is absolutely free, but how do they keep it free? It's because they run ads from their trusted partners. If you'd prefer an ad-free experience, you can check into any of their low-cost monthly plans. It was a relief to us to know that we could always get in touch with our boys if they were at the mall with friends, if they were at a restaurant with friends, if they were at the library studying with friends. You get the idea? They spent a lot of time with friends. Make sure that you check out TextNow. There'll be a link all the way at the top of the description of this video. Swap brand new clothing for second hand. I'll give you an example here. $2 at Goodwill. It was a special sale. The jeans, these were $4 at Goodwill. This necklace, a gift from one of our Under the Median viewers. Now, I do come to you with this caveat. Sometimes, if you wait for a special end of the season clearance sale, you can score brand new clothing at retail establishments for the same price that you would pay at Goodwill. Secondhand stores, whether it's Goodwill, we have some other shops in town which are actually less expensive than Goodwill, and we tend to go there. Wherever your secondhand stores are in town, make sure that you're always comparing your prices, brand new compared to secondhand. Swap disposable diapers for cloth if you're in that season of life. I cloth diapered all 4 of our boys, saved us thousands of dollars. The nice thing about cloth diapers is when you're all done with diapering your last baby, they make great rags for cleaning and dusting. I went through our rag bin and found one last remaining cloth diaper. Guys, our oldest son, 17, ready to graduate from high school. This is the last remaining vestige of the cloth diapers in our house. Let's talk saving money at the grocery store for just a second. Now, we have done lots of videos that all are centered around saving money on food, but let me mention just a couple of them here that are specific swaps. Consider swapping out full price ingredients for items which are on sale, on discount, or on markdown. A lot of grocery stores have markdown areas. You find red bags at your local Kroger store. The red mesh bags, the entire red mesh bag is 99 cents per red mesh bag. Then you have big sales stickers. You have items that are discounted that are in carts sometimes. But let's just say your grocery store doesn't have that. because some grocery stores don't. What can you do to still drop your grocery bill? Couple of things. Be aware of sales cycles. Items tend to cycle around on the same time frame and put them on sale. For instance, pasta. About every 8 weeks, pasta is going to go on sale. Figure out what those sales cycles are for the items that you buy regularly. When that price drops ultra low on pasta, can you get enough pasta in order to carry you through to the next sales cycle and the next time that pasta goes on sale? If you can do that, you're always going to be eating pasta that you bought at a discounted price. The other thing that you can do is make sure that you're shopping loss leaders. Loss leaders are those items that are on the front page of the grocery store flyer. They are ultra low. Grocery store use them as a way to get you into the grocery store to do all of your shopping. Swap out very expensive mixes for DIY versions. This is homemade pancake mix. Homemade pancake mix is so easy. It's a matter of mixing together about 4 specific ingredients.
All right, we're starting out with 6 cups of flour.
That's all-purpose flour.
And then I'm dumping in 1 cup of sugar, along with a tablespoon of baking powder, tablespoon of baking soda, and a teaspoon of salt. All of that will be mixed together, finishing off the dry ingredients.
After you make your mix, make sure that you put a label on the front. I generally put a label on the front here that tells Larry how much of this mix to mix with, either some oil or also add some liquid. Usually we use some plant-based milk in with it. Mix those things together to make your batter in order to make your pancakes. So make sure whenever you're making DIY versions, whether that be like Bisquick mix from scratch or pancake mix from scratch, make sure you put a label on it so people know how to use it.
When it comes to doing laundry, one of the things that you can swap is washing your clothes in hot water for washing them in cold water. Most laundry detergents today are made so that they'll work really good in cold water, and that will save you a lot of money. Also, when it comes to doing laundry, you can swap out drying your clothes in a gas or electric dryer to hanging them outside on a line. If it's real cold, you can hang some lines inside your house and do laundry that way as well. That will save you a lot of money on doing your laundry. Another thing you can swap out is get rid of any of these old tungsten bulbs, if you happen to have any around still, and put in these LEDs. This LED uses 10 watts, this uses 60. They both put out the same amount of light. So as I screw this in, you'll notice that, voila, it's the same brightness that this one was. Now, another thing you can do, if you have multiple light bulbs in a fixture, you don't need all of these lit up all the time. You can unscrew a couple of these and just have a very nice, subtle lighting for your suppers and dinners. We talked briefly about saving a little electricity on your lighting, but there's another thing you can do in order to know exactly how much each item in your household is using in terms of power. This is a kilowatt meter. This will tell you how many watts an item is using if you don't know. All you have to do is plug the item in here, plug this into your wall outlet, and then when you press this middle button where it says watts, it'll tell you how many watts the item in question is using. This way you can compare it to other similar items that maybe do the same thing and come out with the exact one that you want to use most of the time. That will save you some money in electricity. This also has a kilowatt hour setting. It will tell you how many kilowatt hours an item is using over time. So if you leave it plugged in and running for, let's say, 5 hours, let's just say you've got a fan, an oscillating fan plugged in, it will tell you exactly how many kilowatt hours that has used during that time. Another item you can save some money on is gasoline for your vehicle. And there's a really nice way to do that. If you get Gas Buddy, that will tell you what the cheapest gas station is that's within, let's say, maybe a 20-mile, 10-mile radius of your home. You can set that radius too. If you only want a 5-mile radius, it will tell you what the cheaper gas stations are that are close to you. And that way, as you're traveling, you can determine your route and go to that gas station to save a little money. Let's just say while you're out doing errands, you don't want to use your car. Well, maybe you've got some stores that are within walking distance. You can take a backpack with you and go to those stores and do your shopping and take some items home. If you're on your bike and you have a carrier on your bike, you can carry some items home that way. But make sure you lock up your bike when you park it outside.
Swap paying bills with paper checks for online bill pay. Postage is expensive. What is it, like 72 cents a stamp now? It's getting pricey. Swap paid TV subscription services for free services like Tubi TV, TUBI. It's free.
Swap brand new technology for used technology. This is a phone that we bought on Back Market, and this one belongs to Hope. It works really good. The one that she's using to videotape me right now is also one that came from Back Market. Swap meeting at restaurants for having friends over for a potluck. It's much cheaper, and you can end up getting some really good dishes that way.
Swap paying full price for books for paying less than full price for books. I got this book, really interesting book. The book was free. All I paid was shipping. Books are a great way to learn about things that you want to know about. When you're done with those books, you just swap them with someone else. Larry, would you like to know YouTube secrets?
Yes. Would you like to learn a little bit about my Nikon D750?
Yes, I would.
All
Go to
right.
Swap. Larry
Oh.
got this from Abe's Books, by the way, so he didn't pay full price for this either. Swap replacing for repairing. Sew on that button, sew that seam. This is in my mending pile. I just have to sew the seam. These pajamas, these belong to our son Daniel. Yeah, Grinch pajamas. These shoes, the top part of the shoe started separating from the sole like 3 years ago. I super glued it. The glue is still holding strong. See if you can repair it before you replace it. Frugal swaps are a part of our everyday life. If you want a little insight into exactly what our days look like, what do we do every day in order to save money, we did a video. We had you follow us around for 24 hours. We showed you all the things we did in that one day to save money. That video's fun. It's frugal. It's right over there. Go watch it next.